For the past 2 years that I've been part of the furry fandom, I have come to learn some rather interesting things from it. Like, apparently, stereotypes exist within the community. Who knew? But in all seriousness, the furry community is just like any other community in the internet. It does have certain tropes that stands out. Let's go talk about them, shall we? Let's start off with one of the biggest stereotypes within the community. Let's say your persona is a fox. Have you ever encountered someone on social media and had them call you a bottom? Or that you're a femboy fox looking for a werewolf boyfriend? Tell me, how often does that happen to you? And does it annoy you if it happens to you on a frequent basis? Because until to this day, I have no idea where and what started that stereotype. All furries are gay, is what most people seem to believe within and outside the fandom. While it is true that the furry community is pretty much a safe space for LGBTQ+ people, and yes, the vast majority of furries are in some way part of the LGBTQ, but to proclaim that everyone within it is gay is a little bit ignorant. Don't get me wrong, I love my fellow LGBTQ+ members, but we do need to acknowledge that straight furries exist too. All furries talk about is sex. And in the same vein as all furries are gay, a lot of people believe that all furries talk about are not safe for work stuff. Look, we all know that the furry community is very much sex positive, but nowhere does it mean that all furry content is not safe for work. It might be like a huge part of it, but there are pockets within the community that stay away from that stuff. For a lot of reasons, they stay away from the not safe for work parts of the community and just focus on other things. Plus, asexual furs exist. Enough said. All furries are rich. This could not be further from the truth. One of, if not the only items on this list that reflects real life. Not all furries are suspiciously rich. Probably the biggest example of this is the one furry in the medical field that developed the Moderna vaccine. As great as that is, not everyone in the fandom is insanely rich. I can name me and 5 other guys I know in the furry fandom that are still struggling with money. Simping over problematic characters. This proves to be true. At least to me and many other people in the fandom. I believe this stereotype is backed up by the fact that many furries simp for Springtrap for some fucking reason. All furries are cringe. This is kinda true, to an extent. You know those furs that keep popping up in cringe compilations and the ones that get featured in certain news sites? Well, the thing is, the loudest weirdos in the fandom are always the ones that get attention. And even then, these weirdos do not represent the community as a whole. Remember that. All they do is act like animals. Not even once have I found a furry that unironically acted like an animal. You're either thinking of Therians, horse people enthusiasts, or animalkins. All those things I've listed are far different from your average furry. Furries don't have father figures. This is more or less stemming from bullying from people who are not part of the furry fandom. You may see these comments on TikTok videos where the person that leaves these kinds of comments are either ignorant and don't understand how furries work, or they're left by a 12 to 13-year-old child. They all work at IT or for NASA. Some of us do, but some of us are also baristas, vloggers, chefs, pilots, musicians, artists, etc. Yes, most furs tend to be more intelligent than the rest, so they gravitate towards a career that works with computers and programming. But when you ask a completely random fur in a convention, their answer would be definitely something different that has nothing to do with computers at all. They're all ugly and overweight. Nah, not even close. All I gotta do is put this photo up of Fluke Husky on here without a suit, and it would instantly disprove the stereotype. And yeah, some of us are a little bit overweight, kinda like me, and some friends that I know. But you might find that the furry fandom has a little bit of everything. We have bears like me, we got twinks that are, some of them are my friends. We got buff guys, we got dad bods, we got femboy bods. Everything under the limelight you'll find within the furry fandom. Furry artists can't find professional work. As I remember correctly, it was a furry that came up with a design for Clay Calloway, the elderly lion from Sing. So I don't know how or where the stereotype started, but it is definitely not true. A lot of studios right now are in the market for furry animators and artists. especially if Netflix continues making movies and shows that cater to the furry community. Furry artists are greedy. Though I can't say for all artists, most furry artists that I have interacted with are pleasant and agreeable. Some of them I made friends with, and their prices are reasonable depending on your budget. I would guess the stereotype stems from scorned clients that think the prices are too high, so they try to make a fuss over it. And some tend to even start rumors of the artist to defame them. Fursuiters don't wash their suits. Not true at all. If there's one thing I am sure of, fursuiters that pay top dollar for their suits, they will take care of it. Wash it, clean it, brush it, even giving it maintenance checks to make sure that there aren't any tears or damages in the suit's fabric. Last but not least, it's all a fetish. Not true at all. By and large, the furry fandom is merely just a hobby. Yes, I have said before the community is sex positive, but there are certain pockets within the community that stay away from that. And for the most part, the community consists of members who take a shine to the anthropomorphic design. People outside the fandom tend to focus on the more louder members of the community. That's when word gets around, rumors turn into stereotypes, and the rest is history. My fellow degenerates, this is where we end today's rant. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you think I missed a particular stereotype and failed to mention it on this list, please let me know in the comments down below. This has been your fellow degenerate Cook Boss 88, and I'll be seeing you again in the next video. Stay foxy, much love.